Hi, YouTube, Patreon, Facebook, Pornhub,
YouTube. You already said that, I guess.
X and XX, you know, various random video streaming sites, wherever you may be streaming your fat guys.
Yeah. Guys and little girls.
But anyway, I'm Robbie. This is my best friend Devin, and we're fat. No bullshit.
Yeah, we're pretty obese.
We're fat. We're also alcoholics, and we chain smoke, and we both have a history of substance abuse. But starting today, you're witnessing the beginnings of us turning our lives around.
Making a change.
A complete 180.
Not a 360, kid.
That's too far.
Yeah, that's right. Not another 360.
So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we got to right here. We're both middle-aged. Devin's a couple years older than me. I'm 32, divorced, fat as fuck. Fat, I mean, seriously, YouTube, fat. I'm a problem. This is a problem. We're aware, but unlike most people content to just wallow in being miserable, I don't want to be fat. How I got here, I used to be a little guy, at least in the waist. I was fit. I ran 5 miles a day. Could deadlift 350 pounds. I liked to exercise. I also was fairly athletic. I was in a semi-professional wrestling league for a little while. 20 years of being a death metal frontman, you know, hair swinging, screaming. Toured the country, opened for big stars, little stars, played to my mom. You know, I did it all.
He opened for Hotep, y'all. That was cool.
I did. It was
Hotep
cool.
was cool, but he was cool.
Yeah, that's another story for another time. But when I was about 23, I met a woman who I thought was my soulmate because, to be frank with you, I can't have kids. Without giving you my whole life story, my brother smashed my nuts with a sledgehammer. I do still have testicles, because I know that's a question that's going to come up. But the one that produces the baby gravy doesn't work quite right. So I'm shooting blanks. And doctors told me, they said, if you ever get a girl pregnant, you need to just go ahead and marry her, because there's a 0.0001% chance that you will ever have children. So I started seeing this girl after my first divorce. And lo and behold, I'm pregnant. Well, you haven't left my side in like 3 months, so I guess it's a fucking miracle, baby.
I would assume it's mine.
No, I did what any self-respecting man would do. I quit my job, I stopped playing music, and I got ready to be a dad. I got in the best shape of my life. I started running, lifting more weights, better weights, bigger weights, and just doing whatever I could to prepare for fatherhood. I also worked like 60 hours a week. I paid all the bills. I was just generally a good man as far as I could tell. I'm sure her side's completely different, but that's neither here nor there. Everybody's the bad guy in somebody's story. After a couple months, though, things started not adding up, and I got sick. And when I say I got sick, I mean I got really sick. I went from, you know, all the exercise I told you about to not being able to get out of bed. Physically unable to get myself out of the bed. And I'm not going to lie, because there's no sense in lying in a documentary like this. I thought I had contracted AIDS or something from intravenous drug use and hanging out at orgies and seedy places. You know, I was scared to fucking death. And when I finally left, I was so sick. I was gray. My skin was gray. My hair had fallen out almost completely. I was almost completely bald. And I weighed almost 500 pounds. Obviously, I survived. I'm sitting here in front of a camera like a douchebag.
I mean,
but
I really like a douchebag.
Just, I'm tired of this. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be another obese statistic. So I'm taking this into my own hands, and I'm doing something about it. And Devin's at a point in his life, he can tell you about it in a moment, but Devin's at a point in his life where he needed a hand up. And being my best friend, my hetero life mate, I just said...
Hetero life mate, it's like Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, might as well, you know. And I just said, Devin, come on home. So he moved in the living room, and here we are, getting ready to start this journey.
Well, getting ready for betterment. I mean, I've been through hell in my life as well, not poison, but I've survived multiple different kinds of abuse. I hooked up with a female that was nutty, I will say, in a very violent manner. I was sober for 2 years after I was released from prison because I thought I could be a father to somebody that I don't get to be a father to. It's really hard for me to talk about this to so many people that could be watching or listening. But I hooked up with a woman and took on her child. And as bad as a mistake that was, I don't think I would change that because I got Robbie out of the deal. There's a little girl with my last name that I don't get to see or speak to. But eventually maybe she'll watch this and understand who I am. This is really hard for me. I started therapy though last week, and they've got me on medications and whatnot, trying to get better. Been mentally unhealthy my whole life. Probably always going to be that way. But I'm trying to change how I view the world and how I let it affect me. I want to slim down. I want to be healthy. I want to be more mentally healthy than I am. I lost the love of my life 2 years ago. And that really affected me. It still affects me a lot. Which if you've got blood clots, you should go get that checked out. You don't let that settle. Don't let a doctor tell you it has to do with your ovaries or something like that, because that's what happened to the woman I was with, Tracy Johnson. That she was always there for me 13 years. It was very hard watching her die. It took a lot out of me. It still does when I think about it. It kind of breaks me down inside. It's the worst pain I've ever been through. I've been beaten, sexually assaulted. I've had people just try to kill me. I used to live a very rough, violent life. Up until the age of 23, I was out in the streets doing whatever it took to get money, besides prostitution. Robbing construction sites, doing anything you can think of, just so I could make money to get fucked up. And that led me to prison. That's where that low road ends anyways. It's either prison or death. And at 34 years old, I don't want to end that way as I began. I grew up being raised that the outlaw lifestyle was the way to go. And it's not. If you're on that road, I want you to know that you can change.